launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Space Monkeys, lucky episode number 7. Today blasting off with Marvin Tong, co-founder of Phala and one of the earlier builders on Substrate. He and his team have been working at the intersection of blockchain and trusted execution environments since 2019. Marvin, welcome at last to the show.
Thank you, Jay. It's pleasure to be here, and I already looking forward to have conversation with you guys for a long time, and Kusama community changed a lot in the past 2 years.
Yes.
And one of the most positive sign is that Kusama community creates its own unique culture and everything. So and you, I believe your community, is also one of the most contributed ones. So it's a pleasure to be here, Jay.
I really appreciate hearing all that from you because I've been following Phala for a long time. It's one of the earliest projects I really was able to wrap my head around and got really excited about. So let's dive right in here. You're currently building Phala World and offering cloud compute services, but the project's been on a huge journey. I'm wondering if you can take us back to the very beginning, when you started working with trusted execution environments. I'm curious, where and when did you first learn about this TEE computation concept?
We are already fan of crypto in 2018. And back then, both me and our co-founder, Hong, which is ex-Google engineer, we are familiar with each other. We both work for Web2 internet companies. And but by the time we are quite attracted by smart contract concept. And if you remember in the 2018, there is no DeFi or there is no GameFi or but there is already CryptoKitties, smart contract based NFTs.
Yeah.
And back then I think both Ethereum and blockchains like EOS or Tron,
Yeah.
they promote a lot of dApp builders, to build smart contract based decentralized applications on top of these chains, and we are one of the players, not industry or founders, but players or crypto holders by them, and. That is the moment I realized that smart contract will entirely change the world. It's shocking to me. When I have brainstorm with Hong together, what can we do if we want to bring more and more use cases into this trustless and openness world. We found that there are a lot of work to be done. For example, if I want to build a decentralized Uber, I can't do it, by the smart contract 100%. How to deployment the code for front end, for the confidence database, because you can't leak the trace for users, on the chain, right? So you need some type of thing, to protect the confidentiality data inside, and in the meanwhile, this code can be trustless and verified. So by then we are looking for solutions to solve. It's pretty middleware solutions to adding use cases on top of smart contract, and we learned a lot of privacy, enhanced technologies such as MPC, FHE, ZK knowledge, and TE all the time. We actually finally decide, because a trusted execution environment can executing a large size and generated code with low latency. So this could be one of the replacement for AWS Web3 world. So we think we will go computation scenario more than a privacy part. So that's why when we begin to combine with trust execution environment technology with blockchain, and many first days use cases like PLibra as a grant for to Web3 Foundation is more seems like a privacy enhanced case, but the back to old times, back to the start lines, we actually the purpose to use privacy computation power for us, for our team, is aimed to build broader use cases to expand Web3 or smart contracts. That's how it coming from.
Amazing. So maybe we'll just take a quick moment here to catch up our audience on what trusted execution environments are.
Guys, when you're using smartphone or laptop, and the program who can identify your biology identities is using trusted execution environment technology. It means that this equipment won't storage your fingerprint, how it looks like, and tell how the fingerprint looks like to other applications or OS, but they can verify, this is the finger that last time you put in, so that it match with each other, and so that you can open your laptop. So this is how the CPUs are using this technology. We are kind of like using a Web3 and blockchain to link them up and to push this computation power inside this area into limits, so that this is I think this is a more trustless and openness computation cloud than general cloud. So this is the goal.
You mentioned PLibra there, and we were talking about it recently on this channel. PLibra became Diem, and then Diem recently shut down. We were talking about it in context of the Pontum project. Yeah. Back then, you guys were really leaning into this idea of privacy online, and a lot of what you guys were writing was really about kind of empowering people and giving them back their privacy. I'm just wondering, for you, where does that personal need for privacy in your life come from?
Yeah, you're asking a very good question. I think first, I live in China for a long time, and I mean there are trade-off, for government rules or society rules. I mean, before I learned more about Web3 and data ownership, I used to think this is a trade-off. Like, if I want to use TikTok, to feed myself, if I want to almost security society, I need to sacrifice some privacy to the third party as a trade-off. But after I learned from of course, Gavin Wood gave a very brief about what is Web3, and so does Bernard Lee, give the idea for the solid system. It's a very interesting blog. I suggest you guys also take a look at it. And privacy computation technology, I found out it actually could it could not be a trade-off. You don't have to sacrifice your privacy, but in the meantime, you can enjoy everything you got, in Web 2, like TikTok Smart suggestion, the AI services. It's not necessary for the sacrifice, but it needs, a bunch of engineers and creators to build, so that this situation can change. And that's because I used to be I'm not I used to in the technology business for 3 years after I graduated. So in the internet companies, I as a product manager use a lot of personal data, not in sensitive way, but like I used to use a big data analytics to analyzing users activities, and to help the company to promote promote its production, something like this. So I realized that the way these Web2 companies are using these user data are all, it seems like they are all aiming to squeezing more value from it,
Right.
right? So, and I'm the one who executing it. So I personally have the feeling about it. No, I should stop it, and I should building the next level of things, to solve that problem instead of keep on doing this. So that's the story.
Amazing, Marvin. And thank you so much for going out and building it as well for us. You mentioned Gavin Wood there. Did you speak with him in the beginning about this concept once you guys got the Web3 grant?
I think, I mean, in 2019, Gavin and the Web3 Foundation and Parity team traveled to China like twice. And our team, as applier to the grant, met him and the team in personal. So by then, we explained what we want to do, and because in that time Libra seems like pretty legit blockchain could bring a lot of users, and there is no so many like bridge solutions between different chains. So we present the idea that since Facebook have a bad reputation on privacy protection, why don't we use a privacy bridge to bring their users into Polkadot ecosystem? So Gavin seems to like that idea, and because by then the Web3 Foundation supported Rust and developers a lot, so things are going very well, and we got enough support. And as the time passing by, as we by the progress we are building for PLibra, we found out actually this thing can be summarized, or can be executing very well as a parachain, and we can create more value beyond just providing privacy bridge ability. So we begin to work on the Phala Network, but there is a very big milestone, in between 19 and 20s, which is we realized that in crypto, in Web3, people doesn't like the idea of trusted execution environment as a privacy solution. That is because there is a better one, better solution for privacy, which is ZK. And ZK is promoted very hard by Ethereum community. And it's purely in math and game theory, which means it's a lot of, a much more solid in privacy part. But of course, each technology have its weakness. I won't, expand more on this part. But we realized that the power that our technology can bring into Web3 community is privacy plus general computation. So general computation means the developer can execute whatever they want in the program. You can always change your code. You can update your code. It can be verified, and it's privacy enhanced, and it's really fast. Something like this, instead of the privacy cases. Such as like coin transfer, or other cases. So we realized the better use case for our technology is on the computation part, because that is something like seems like a blank. There is not so much people are trying are going there, and there is a lack of solution situation in the market. So we turn our way from privacy enhanced into Web3 computation. But of course, privacy always be a good feature in this Web3 computation solution. But it's just a Web3 feature. Without privacy, we can't call it Web3. So that's how how the things going on.
Right. So now people have an option if they want to do cloud computation. Instead of sending it to Amazon Web Services, they can send it through the Phala chain and have it privately computed at comparable speeds, right?
Yep.
So have you guys left behind planned products like the dark wallet and the analytics and products like that?
For dark wallet, is pretty similar with PLibra. Is something can be better than by ZK knowledge based technology or services.
Okay.
So, for example, we have the conversation and the good relationship with Manta Network.
Great.
After we have that, we think their solution is better. It's a purely enhanced privacy for coin transfer. So, we kind of like, okay, a dark wallet is now the best use cases for us. But for Web3 analytics, I will share some news here.
Sure.
It's like there is entirely a very solid and good team out of just a Phala team is building for Web3 analytics. We didn't give it up, and there's a lot of progress there.
Nice.
And so as that team is using both Phala Network and R-Wave together, for privacy data enhanced and encrypted storage on a Web3 protocol. And the analyzers can use a virtualization platform to combine his own charts instead of writing circle code. So it's a brilliant project, and it's still working out. We will share more information in the future, and so that's the story for those applications.
All right, thank you for sharing that. Now, I've heard that your team is absolutely instrumental in the development of the Remark palettes.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your involvement in that project and what you guys are trying to achieve with that partnership?
I mean, it's pretty it's pretty naturally happened cooperation. We do helping Remark team building the pilot version of Remark protocol.
Yeah.
And because Remark is something openness and quite popular in the community, right? And we don't want to break the consensus, so we want to as a certain contribute as another team besides a Remark team, but we are also contributing code and everything to the open source community. So that's how the thing work. Because Remark haven't got any treasury yet, but because we need it, so we build it. That's a very naturally happen choice, and the reason why we need it is. For now, it seems like everybody is using EVM, and but we are still very bullish on WebAssembly, and we are also expecting a lot on Ink smart contract. As a background share, is like because of what Phala is providing, we are now trying to competing with the use cases can 100% well done and running on EVM capable environment. We are trying to fill the gap. That's why we call the type of smart contract Fed contract. Right. So that's the reason why we are put our most of the attention and the time on WebAssembly. So we think many patrons still need a natively environment for as a for NFT protocol as something natively on its parachain. Of course, the parachains with EVM environment, they can always launch any NFT standard or protocol in their EVM environment. So, but there's a lacking of middleware and protocol here. So we built it. And the first use case I believe is for pilot version of Remark is Phala World. So
can you please give us an overview of what Phala World is and what it's going to be.
Yeah. First, I think the very original reason why we have the idea for Phala World is that we think metaverse are being wasted now, and there's a huge gap between NFT and metaverses and blockchains. For example, as a Phala community, the most of the community members are believer of Web3 privacy, or the developers who might need Web3 computation protocol and Polkadot community fans and token holders, traders, ambassadors. We got a quite long list of type of roles in the community. But sadly, we can only use Twitter, Discord, and Telegram to host this community to link with each other.
Yeah.
We think if you think in this way that metaverse is the next platform, quite like TikTok, which people will take more time and attention in it. So and metaverse with Web3 is also very naturally combined, right? So why don't we bring our community into metaverse instead of keep on hosting them on Twitter?
Okay.
So yeah, so that's the idea. But when it
Okay.
come into reality, we found a little bit frustrated for the current situation for metaverses. Like in decentralized or sandbox, you can build up a land. You can build your building with like Phala logo. But when your community member join in that land, join in that building, they have nothing to do. We can just host a party or AMA there. There is no linked from metaverse identity or player identity with anything outside of metaverse. It's our hands are tied. There are very few things to. So
Okay.
what we want to build is actually a bridge to bring the on-chain actions and even off-chain actions with the roles into metaverse.
Right.
It means that, for example, if we successfully build this, it means that in a sandbox or decentralized or big country, you can, if you are, for example, a miner or on Phala Network, or you can show as a role of robot droid, in the game, and you can call out the machines which you are mining on Phala Network to protect you. And the actions in the metaverse, for example, if you want to transfer me some dot token, you can just pat my shoulder and transfer it to me. Everything in there should be, natively instead of pop up a MetaMask to a signature. And it sounds fantasy. It sounds makes sense, but it requires tons of work to do to integrate different services and protocols to actually bring the bridge, for a community outside of metaverse into the metaverse with a game experience. So we are spending a lot of time to figure it out, and we begin to work on it little by little. So the major KPI or goal for us is if we can truly use metaverse or NFT to promote our community into the next level, more activities, more branding, and more like loyalty, then we made it. We will call it a success. So this is why we are linking up with many services in Polkadot ecosystem, such as it's not only Remark but also with Big Country, Talisman, let me think, and the latency. So we are combining all of these services together, to make that even more. That's I'm gonna say in one line, the define of Phala World is it's a metaverse mini game which can present all of the contribution actions on Phala community, no matter it's on-chain or off-chain.
Marvin, that's a huge idea. Wow. So there's going to be there seems like there's going to be this in-game narrative as well that people are working around. I mean, these renders, the character design, it's all so beautiful. Have you brought on a game studio, or how are you approaching this massive idea?
I mean, the idea, yeah, the whole concept and the idea is big, but we know that we how to say, we want to, like keep on delivering, instead of like waiting another 3 years and deliver a big shock to everybody. We think building
Sure.
and deliver a little by little is very important. So the first step,
Agreed.
actually, it's not about rendering, not about character building, not even with DID, but it's a story and culture rebuilding. So Phala Network itself is quite a boring blockchain, although in some hardcore developers or users,
Sure.
and it could be interesting. But to be frankly, for general community members, it's too technical. It's
Yeah.
very hard to understand and it's boring. So what we are doing is we are translate from Phala white paper into a science fiction story, so that in that story you can understand many things, but all of these informations in this story, the character destiny, is all mapping with what happening in reality. Web 2 companies have its roles in the story. Web 3 companies have its roles in the story, and Satoshi, Gavin Wood, Elon Musk, everybody, metaverse technology, neutral link technology, all of these have its own element in the story, and in that way, we can make people easier to understand the Phala and the value we are building. So writing story is actually the first step we are doing. So the next step, we do this, we are taking a lot of time to mapping very carefully about two major targets. The first target is we are mapping our community roles. As I mentioned, developers, ambassadors, coders, smart contract creators, Phala token holders, crawling contributors. All of these guys will have its own career or character in the game. So of course the first step is NFT. And this is a career system. So we are mapping the old community, the on-chain community into a metaverse community as a role mapping. The second target is action mapping. We summarize many actions, no matter on Phala or on Kusama, on Polkadot, like prolong, contributions, token transfer, identity, voting for governors, all of these actions on-chain and off-chain actions like GitHub, pull request, and bug fix, and Twitter, and Discord. All of these actions have its own meaning and value in the game. So by mapping all of this stuff, we can without player or user doing any extra things, we can create a game file for himself in an NFT, and we call this NFT a spirit NFT. It's a untransferable NFT. It presents your soul, your historic data in Phala World. Especially maybe two years before you do something on Polkadot, and your trace will help you to upgrade in the game. So this is about spirit NFT, and but people always have the needs, to define how they will look like, what my career is, and which big gun I'm holding, something like this. So we will also create a bunch of, as you mentioned, 3D high quality modules for each character as shell NFTs. So we think no matter how the game building progress going on with spirit NFT and shell NFT, you can build any game in any metaverse in the future of Phala World community. So that's the spirit.
That is amazing. What's your favorite species?
I personal I like X genes species a lot.
Me too, yes. Okay, Marvin, this has been such a great conversation. Maybe before you go, we can just bring it back down to the crowd loan. You guys are looking like you could win this current slot in this last auction of this batch here. What can people expect with the Phala chain running at the same time as the Khala chain is running on Kusama? And yeah, what can people expect for the rollout after you guys win a slot?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. We also our team is also upgrading by the progress of the past 2 years. We used to think Kusama is targeted on smaller community and Polkadot is targeted on enterprises, like level things like big whales, right? And so that I know that they are cousins, but we used to think like Kusama is like a canary network, but it's not, right?
Okay.
So now we just I just proposed something in our community as a name that is a Gemini upgrade. It means that we will promote Khala Network and Phala Network into the same level. It's the same thing to us. There is no mainnet. I can't call Phala is a mainnet. Because we don't know Kusama or Polkadot which one is better now. We really don't. So if you can remember, you must know that like in 2020, I think we are one of the first projects who don't have separate token for both chains.
True.
We didn't realize what it means by then. We just don't we hate to coins for the community. Think there is no necessary to initial neutral, but now we got deeper understanding. That is, it gives us Phala community the opportunity that we can equally run two chains for the same business because we are not DeFi project, right? So the major purpose why we need a blockchain to host a Phala is that we need a blockchain to management a massive number of computation nodes off-chain. And the code executing in these off-chain computation nodes can be verified by the chain. And we need security guaranteed, from a stronger relation like Kusama or Polkadot. So that's why we need a blockchain. We need DAO governors, everything, right? But it also means that by this time of upgrade, our off-chain computation node hosters, they can freedomly choose which chain they want to host for. If they like Polkadot, or they think Polkadot have more attention, they can go to Polkadot. And if they like Khala, they can go to Khala. We share the same business module together, the same computation power, and the same reward. We don't just justify difference from each relation our community. And after we launch on Polkadot, I think it brings a great potential for use cases that the parachains on Polkadot can use XM and or HRMP in the very beginning to use the services on Phala. For example, you can write a really large game engine and deploy it by a Fed contract on a Phala network, and the on-chain logic you can write it down locally in let's say a star or Moonbeam. So the logic of the code related with eyesight it can be hosting as a smart contract on a Moonbeam. But no matter it's front end or back end script type of general code or program, you can hosting these things on Phala Network. And using HRMP, you can make calls between smart contract and Fed contract. There is a very cool feature in Fed contract which you can link up with HTTP requests. So it means that you can even write a Web3 code who can interact with Twitter, with any other services. But the logic is verified and executing in a very Web3 way. We don't know how the future goes on. I prefer Kusama more. I have the dare to say here. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool to treat both chains as the same level.
I love it. Well, if there's anything I learned from this interview, Marvin, it's that you and your team are extremely flexible and you're just constantly there to pick up the next use case and the next task. Phala World sounds completely amazing. I'm excited to see what happens with you guys over the next several years.
Thank you, Jay. And welcome, to no matter it's contribute or make suggestions to what we done. And we are really happy to be deeper engaged with Kusama and Polkadot community, Kusama community, right? If I have to bet, I will bet on Kusama.
Yeah, I love it. All right, Marvin, very nice talking to you, and thanks very much for coming up here with us.
Thank you, Jay, for the invitation, and thank you for hosting this interview. I love it a lot.
Nice. Talk to you later, Marvin. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Jay.